Hello, my name is Boo Boo. I grew up in Athens Park. I am a 37-year-old single mom, and this is me. This is my interview. From 132nd and Avalon through that alley, that's like the death alley per se, where it was fights in that alley, it was popping in that alley. On the way from here to Mark Twain. It was just me, my mom, and my brother growing up. My mom, since I've known, she's always been on drugs, so it was a detachment per se. My mom is more of a homebody, more of a person in the house, even though she was on drugs for forever, but she was more at home. She wasn't a street walker. Me looking back at it, it was a big detachment. It wasn't, no one helped me with my homework. No one to talk to about different issues or just topics. It was just me running around, just being me, and her being her, which was a quiet, in the room type person.
After you leave Mark Twain,
Okay.
what school do you go to next?
Vanguard Middle School, right across the street. Oh, there's when it started to get active. It was a lot going on there. That's when I started learning about different neighborhoods, and some of the young guys and girls were gangbanging. So that's when it kind of sparked in my mind, the gangbanging situation. Because prior to that, I didn't know anything about it. So I say about 7th grade is when I really started to pay attention to it, because you had different hoods that went to the school. And it was different little fights, one hood versus another hood, but all that started at Vanguard.
And how many different hoods? Can you name some of the hoods you remember?
That was at Vanguard, Athens for sure, Westside Piru. I believe we had a few Fruit Towns, Campanella, maybe a couple of lanes, Diva Lanes, and 151, and the Fives, and the Millers went there, yeah. Those are the ones that I can think of, because I can actually see the people's faces who was gangbanging and banging it.
And no Crip neighborhoods?
At Vanguard, no. That I can think of now. Maybe somebody else be like, oh yeah, well, Whoop-de-Whoop went there and he was from blah, 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 but no. 7th grade, the relationship was, we were still kids and they were gangbanging. I wasn't really at that time. The relationship was, I didn't have fights with some of the dudes from different hood, just kid stuff, me saying the wrong thing and dissing a hood because I really didn't know what it was. It was just hearing what was said, and then I repeated, and then I'm fighting guys and was beating them up too, though. Let's put that in there. Let's get that together.
So you're actually fighting boys, males your age?
Yeah, that's the majority who all I fought. I really didn't fight too many girls. I can't really think of too many girls, but it was more boys.
But I'm guessing
always boys.
Probably some of the boys don't feel like really punching on a girl.
I can say a few of the fights I can agree with that, but some of the other fights, no, we was getting it. I mean, they was punching, I was punching. We was getting it.
And this doesn't have anything to do with gangs at this time.
It did have something to do a little bit, because I didn't know about gangs like that, and I was saying things to diss hoods, but it was just more repeating what I had just heard, and they would get offended, and then we'd just get to fighting. But as I grew up, say maybe within that year, I learned what it was, and I wasn't doing that no more. So
what grade does Athens become something that you're about to claim and represent?
About 8th grade.
And what do you think was your decision that influenced? What influenced that decision?
Friends, my environment, and lack of conversations and teaching in my household.
What could have changed that, you think, then?
My daddy being alive, because he passed away when I was in 7th grade. So at 12 years old. So I believe if he was alive, that would have not entered into my world, or if so, it would have had a different effect. I mean, I've always knew about him, but he stayed in the pen for like majority of my life up until 12. He got out when I was 12. He lived with me and my mom for about 6 months. 6 months later, after he lived with us, he moved somewhere else, and I didn't see him for 6 months. And then the detective came talking to my mom, talking about he was murdered. So I really only known him really 6 months per se out of my life. But I have letters, birthday gifts, and all that type of stuff that I've kept over the years. Matter of fact, I have a jewelry box that I still have, and I got that from him when I was 9 years old that I still have, that he made in the pen for me for my birthday.
What influences in the streets do you think, was there any person in particular, any guy or girl that had an impact on like embracing you into the
Oh yes, my big homegirl, rest in peace, Lily. Oh my gosh, she was what I call my hood mom. She would check me, and when I say check me, she would check me real hard. And then on the flip side, she would show me love and talk to me. She taught me so much. I don't want to go into depth because it's not good stuff per se. It's the street life stuff. But she was the one, her. Like that, just the thought of her just give me chills that I miss her so much. But she was the one. She was the one I can leave out the house and walk in the parking lot, and she was around, and we'd just shoot the shit. And she'd tell me what I need to stop doing, or she'd be like, fuck that shit, boo-boo, blood, get they ass. So, and then on the flip side, she was always telling me, you need to go to school. And I didn't at that time, but she was positive and put me up on game about a lot of negative and how to conduct myself and carry myself and be a leader, not a follower. So she was my hood mom. To the males, I have a bunch that I respect, that I feel that have, throughout all these years, have respected me. And I wouldn't drop no names, but it's been a few that then pulled me to the side, or around the time where I was going out of state, doing different stuff to make money, that really took me under their wing and wasn't about dick and pussy. They was more about just showing me the ropes, how to get my money, and, you know, going across state with it.
Now, can you talk about you went to high school? Did you go to Centennial High?
Sure did. It was active. I was bad. I was a ditch person expert, which is not a good thing in hindsight looking back at it, but it was a lot. It was when I really got active, like more serious with it, and not paying attention to what I needed to be paying attention to, which was my academics. I went from playing basketball to no longer playing basketball, and I was actually good. I'm a little tomboy, so I was actually good, but that's when, 9th grade is when weed was per se introduced, and I started smoking weed, and then, you know, that took a turn for not wanting to go to practice and hanging out with the girls and the guys and just being rude and bad.
So what kind of impact did marijuana have on you?
I mean, then I would say it had a good impact, but now looking back, it slowed me down. It made me too stagnated, relaxed, and not going after my goals. Well, not going after my gifts, which I was a rapper and have flows, still got them. And I used to want to be a choreographer, and with smoking weed, it was just like gangbang was just so highlighted that I let it go.
Now, that school is pretty famous because a couple of really successful people have come out of there.
Right.
Is there something about that school, or is it just coincidence that?
I would say in any neighborhood you have talented people. Every neighborhood, whether it's they live in cardboard boxes, you have talented people. So it's just the thought of them being around the right people to be able to show the world their talent versus people that I know that are very talented and they just stuck in the hood. They stuck in the four corners, and I mean everywhere, every inch of the earth have talented people, whether it's drawing, rapping, singing. I mean, they're everywhere. It's just a matter of who you know and what your goal is and what your focus is.
Did you get to graduate from Centennial High?
Oh yes, I walked the stage by the skin of my teeth. It was difficult because I say 11th grade, I got independent studies, and I had to do work from home, which brought up a lot of my grades from 9th and 10th grade. And then 12th grade, I went to Cedar Chavez. Me and my close homegirl, we used to walk here all the way to Cedar Chavez which is, I believe, 127th and Wilmington. And continuation school, and I got everything, pulled it off, and I walked the stage. It was probably 3 of us from maybe 10 of us from around this neighborhood that was in the same grade. It was maybe 3 of us that actually walked the stage. I didn't think that I was gonna be able to because I was so far behind, because I was ditching, I wasn't doing work, 9th, 10th grade. You could not catch me in class. If you caught me in the class, the security was chasing me, and I went into class and sat down, or something to that effect. But, oh yeah, that was a super highlight. It was like, better yet, it was a cry moment for me. It was like I did it. Like I actually pulled it off. So that was like a big highlight for that era of my time. Because it's a lot of us that did not graduate. It's a lot of us that did not graduate. We all went to prom, but it's only 3 that actually walked the stage. So it was a lot. It was just something that I felt like, let me get these grades up and so I can walk the stage. I mean, my brother didn't graduate. I know my mom has her diploma, my dad has his, but my brother didn't graduate, so it was one of those things where I don't want to be another one of my mom's kids that don't walk the stage. I want her to see that.
Now, what did your mother think when, at some point, she must have found out you was hanging out with the Athens?
And once again, she didn't talk to me. It was more yelling. It was more, why you having all that red? Where you going? What you doing? And it was just me more so like, whatever, you know, talking my little shit, being on levels disrespectful, which I'm not proud of, but me talking my little shit and going on about my business. Slanging, gang banging. I was like active. Like if you didn't know me, knew I was a girl, you would think I was a boy because I was active. I was like really with the bullshit.
Not everyone knows what slanging is. Explain that.
Slanging marijuana, slanging crack, slanging. In this parking lot, I had it sold up for a minute. And I had the guidance of Lily to help me to know what's what and how to do it and how to conduct myself without being ran over, being aggressive with it.
So you was basically making some nice little extra cash.
Oh yeah, I thought I was the bomb. Couldn't tell me nothing. I had 2 cars. You couldn't tell me nothing. At 18, I had 2 cars. You couldn't tell me nothing. It was just the business. Ask me then. Now it was like that was a waste of time to be out there with that bullshit.
That's kind of so hard to communicate that to a young person now, though. Like that you're wasting your time, right? Like if an older person approached you when you were 16, 17, 18, they wouldn't have got through to you, right?
More than likely no, but I think coming from someone that has lived that life is more of a deep depth vibe that you give to the young person when you're talking to them. So, I mean, it depends. It really depends. Because I can't say that had I ran into the right person, I still just would have been with the bullshit. I can't say that.
Or maybe if the right person came when you were at a younger age, you would have never went that route?
Possibly, but you have that big peer pressure, and that's big. And really, I really believe that only strong people detour away from it. And I wouldn't say that I'm a weak person because I was strong in the gangbanging and what I wanted to do at that time. But it takes a strong individual to ignore it and stay focused on positive when you have so much negative going on. Now, in hindsight, looking back, I'm not going to get retirement or pension from gangbanging. You know, I mean, if I were to pass tomorrow, people is not going to take care of my kids in sake of that's Boo Boo from Athens, that's her kids. So it's kind of just a power struggle. So, I mean, as far as in the young girls, I would love to talk to them. If you're watching, hit me up. Hit me up. The new movement is Live Your Life Baby. Mama Boo 132 on Instagram. Hit me up. I would love to talk to y'all. I mean, live your life. You know what I mean? Whatever your gift is, if you eat, sleep, and breathe, singing, dancing, rapping, do that.
Do you have any close calls?
Oh yeah, I've had a few close calls going in Crip neighborhoods, flamed up from hair to toe, and just being out of pocket. But in my mind, I wasn't really tripping because in a young mind, I'm strapped, so I'm thinking I'm bulletproof because I'm strapped, but It was just God. God didn't want nothing to happen to me.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description. And thanks for watching StreetTV.net.